Hello, my name is Lamaine. Welcome to my tutorial. In this tutorial, actually, I won't be very fast because it's a bit complicated stuff. What he's trying to say here, what we're trying to do here is trying to read a file. So if you're having problems trying to create a program that reads a file, today is your great day because I will help you how to do it. So first thing you do, you go to your documents and create a folder in your documents or anywhere you want to create it. Okay, I create my folder. I create a folder here called files, and I put some text in it. So we're gonna use this text folder here. So this file is saved in the documents and in programs and files, and then I'll find it. So we remember that in the back of our head, and now we start doing a program. So I've already created a class, and the class is just an empty class. It's class reading file. I'm very sure you know how to do that. So first thing we do here is import. We import Java library, the IO. I'm very sure if you don't know what it means, just Google it. I don't want to go ahead and explain that while we have less time in it. So we say public static void. I'm very sure you know all this. Void main, sorry, string. So string array, and we have the argument. So that we close that. So we got our class now. So before we do anything, let's just upload the file that we wanted. So we say file equals to file, file, the name file, okay, and we have new the file in bracket, the root of the file. So the root of the file is users slash lam slash document slash programming slash file slash file dot file one dot txt. So that's our folder. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna introduce something called throw IO exception. So if I say throws IO exception, all right, throw IO exception. So then here, then after that, what we straight go to our try and catch, and we catch it. Let's just catch it straight forward, so we don't need to remind ourselves that we need to catch it. Exception EE, and we just say system. We say system.out.println. We say folder not found. Okay, so in this case we got we've basically done something. So what we're gonna do here is try and do something now inside the try. So first thing we do is bring the file now, the file that we want to read inside the argument. So there's something called file reader. I'm very sure you must come across it. File reader equals to, let's call it fr, and we say new file reader. So and we say file. That's this file. So now we've brought all this stuff into here, into the file reader. It's not yet finished. We need a buffer reader. So buffered reader equals to, buffered reader br equals to new buffered reader, and we call it fr. I'll explain this a bit. So what is this doing is the file reader, the file that reads it, and the file that transmit that to read it line by line is the buffered reader. So buffered reader literally is a very important and powerful library. Okay, so we go down here. So what do we have to do first? We have to initialize, create. We need variables. So I'm very sure you know variables. If you don't know, just know that a variable is just like a container that contains information, so data that are later used by the users whenever the user needs it. So it's just like in the daily life. If you say you've never used a variable, I'm not sure you're saying the right thing, because in the daily life, everything we do is variable. So an example of a variable will be name. So anytime we see a new person, you say what's your name. So if you say what's your name, the word name is a variable. So your name is hidden in the variable until when you say your name, then you went to the name, fetched your name, and then transmit it out. If what I said makes sense. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create a variable. We call it int, and let's just call it word. So int word. No, sorry. We don't need an int here because we're not counting anything. So we just string word equal to that, and we say string content equals to that. So typical error, sorry, I'm not the best writer. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go straight down and write our while loop. So we're gonna write our while loop. Sorry, my writing is horrible. So we're gonna go write our while loop. So in our while loop, what we say is word, another bracket, sorry. So in that bracket, we say word equals to br dot line, okay, not equal to null. That means not equal to 0. Then what do? There's two ways of using a while loop. You can either make it the curly brace, okay, or without the curly brace. I like it without the curly brace, but you decide. You can arrange it more better of using the curly brace or without the curly brace. So here what we do is, first of all, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to say this content will read each word in the file here, in the file, or in the BR. While the BR reading, so this content is going to read it, but BR is equals to that. So BR now is also replaced by word. So if we come here, we say content plus equals to word. What does that mean? That automatically tells you that I am going to read anything in your folder. So if we say system dot out dot print line, and we say word, it should print everything that is inside. If it can't find the folder, it will bring something called file not found. Let's say file not found. So if I read this right now, it says file not found. Can you see? It says file not found. So what do? What we do is we come here, we go back to our folder. So here it's in the documents. Remember documents, programs, files, and then that. So if I do exactly that, so if I do exactly this, what happened? Let me see. It says null. What does that mean? So it says null, but one thing we need to check is, because right now the program is a bit conflicted, I can automatically notice what it wants us to do. It wants us to put the curly brace. So I told you that if you want, don't put the curly brace, but it means that in this case, it is important for us to put the curly brace. So if you put the curly brace and run it, it gives you that. So what does that mean? That means that this program has literally run everything and gives you out what the folder was. So just to verify, if I come to the documents and open the documents and go to folders and I open the first file, it's exactly that. So if we want, we can go to txt, we can change it and make it second folder. So we read the second folder, it gives us that. So that's the only thing on the second folder. If we say third folder, let's see if something is in the third folder, it gives us the file not found, because if you check it, file not found, because there's no folder called file3 txt. So this is not txt, this is txt.rtf. So you could understand that the program is working fine for you, and I hope you do enjoy it. And I will go back, I will explain it once more and for you to understand. We got our package, we got our library. So we bring our file in, that's your file and that's the root of the file. So we introduce something called a throw exception and a catch exception here. That means whenever the file is not found, it will catch it and it will tell you the file is not found. So we got the try. The try means that try all the means and find this folder, run it, run every word of it and put it out. So how did you do that? You go to the library, go to the library, get the library call, get the source call, file reader, and call it any name you want here, and call it any name you want, and say new file reader, and bring the file in here in there. So you bring the folder, the buffer. The buffer is to read every line of it. So you call it any name you want and you say new reader fr. So we just create any string that we want, and so now we have to link these two strings together. So before we link these two strings together, we will say, well, this word is equals to the buffer that is reading each line, and is not null, meaning it's not blank, it's not a blank file, then please link this content with this word. So that's the way to link two things together. So you've linked that, so you can just say print system.out.println word, or you can even say content. It's still gonna give you the same thing. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's it. Yeah, see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.